Alright guys, so fast forwarding a little bit here. We've got our seat switch, and this is a generic seat, so it just barely does not make contact with the foam on the back side. So what I want to do is I want to take a small piece of foam, put in there, and then when we put it in there, the foam will hold in place, and then the seat switch will work the way that it's supposed to. So I've just got some pipe foam here. I'm going to cut it. Okay, so I want to take and put this foam in there. That should hold right in place like that, so then when we put in the switch, it should we can see if it's still actuating or not actuating. Okay. Alright, what we're going to do is, this was a normally open, and it is not making contact as it sits naturally. So it should not take much to make that actuate. So if we were to hold those right there, easy to press it against the outside, yeah, and then alright, I think we're going to be good there. And again, that switch, or that foam, should not move in there. There's really not a lot of place for it to go, left or right, so I think we're going to be just fine there. It's just filling in the little bit of foam that we had that was not there. One thing about this little connector here is this connector, the little plastic piece is broken, so I'm going to take that right there, and it does hold in place, so it's probably not going to be a concern, but I may wrap a piece of black electrical tape. Actually, I probably don't want to do that. When it comes to black electrical tape or anything like that, you really don't want anything that's going to hold moisture. So I've had connectors that have been black electrical tape, put on it. Moisture will still find its way in there. I think the best way is probably, to hermetically seal it, or to use some of that liquid electrical tape that you can dip the entire connector in a waterproof rubber that is going to protect it. But I have had more bad luck with actually just taping things, because moisture will still find its way in there and it can't drain out. Whereas with this, if moisture does get in there, like you're pressure washing or whatever, it's going to be able to dry itself out, which is going to make that switch last longer, and it's not going to get corroded. So I'm going to leave it, and I don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay, all right. I'll get you set up in the stand, and we'll see if this works. Okay, we're going to know real quick whether or not this works. If that fixed it. So emergency brake is on. It's a cold start for the day. It was like 20 degrees last night, so this will be a good test for it for cold starting. Say that fixes it. What we're going to do next is we're going to focus on some of these cosmetics. I have the pieces to this hood. I actually busted this up whenever I loaded this thing up on the back of the trailer, so these cracks were actually on me. I'm not sure if I did this crack. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me see if I can focus here. You can see there's a couple cracks there, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to glue those from the inside, and then what we're going to do after that is once we get it glued up, we'll let it sit. Okay, on the front of your hood, you've got some bolts. You're just going to loosen them up so you can get that off. You want to also disconnect your connector here, so that way when you go to lift it up, you can get it off of there and you're not going to hurt anything. I'm going to disconnect the other side. You should be able to just lift it right out. And just like that, it's off. Alright, what we're going to do is I'm going to get these lights out of the way here. Okay. Just get those out of the way. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this with some contact cleaner. The reason I'm using this contact cleaner is it leaves no residue, so it should be, you know, similar to probably isopropyl alcohol that we used to clean electronics. So just get some of that on it. Alright, you can see there. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so we've got it cleaned up here. I'm not trying to do anything other than keep this from cracking any further. I don't want it to come through on the other side because I'm going to be buffing the other side. And it's more about just preventing this from spreading any further. I'm just using super glue. There's some videos out on the internet with a guy using you know, like some staples and some heat. His method is by far probably better than this, so you might want to check out that if you're looking for, you know, a better repair. But this is more for cosmetics, since it's not really cracked all the way through, and I'm not necessarily trying to go, you know, 100% on this thing. We're going to let that sit up, and then we'll move on to the next one. Alright, it's the next day, and we're going to put this hood on now. Alright, there we go. Wires and whatnot are not in it yet, but looks a whole lot better. Okay. Alright guys, I wanted to give a kind of a before and after so you can see, you know, what we're looking to do here. I know you guys have probably been bothered by that dog crap or whatever it is on that thing. You're probably like, is he ever going to clean that out? Yes, I'm going to now. So I just kind of wanted to give you a general overview of the you know, of the unit. I'd say the weak point on these John Deeres is definitely these hoods, so I'm gonna spend most of my time focusing on this hood because it's kind of like a I'm gonna try to focus it here. It's kind of the crown jewel of a lawnmower is the hood, so I kind of want to spend most of my time, you know, on that. All right, let's get started. Alright guys, so after pressure washing it and whatnot, I don't know if we ended up making some of these cracks a little bit more visible than they were when it was dirty. It's almost like the dirt was kind of hiding some of the cracks, so we'll have that to deal with. But it's looking pretty good. I'm not sure what this is. Somebody might have sprayed some sort of cleaner there at one point, but it's good enough to mow a yard. Okay everyone, it's the next day and the tractor's dry, and I think we are ready to start waxing the hood and go ahead and we'll get this thing shined up. Alright, I'm going to be trying some just Meguiar's is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to try to see if we can't work one side. This is just regular Meguiar's cleaner wax that you get from Walmart, and I'm going to try to just work half the hood so that way we can see the results. This is cleaner wax, so it's probably got a little bit more abrasives in it than, you know, some of your finish wax and you know, stuff like that. Alright, we'll let that sit a few minutes, then we'll come back and clean it off and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, the wax is dried on this one side, so let's get it shined up here. You want to make sure that you have a clean rag, obviously. Another thing that you want to do that the instructions actually on this one tell you to do is to use a microfiber cloth. So we're going to use a microfiber cloth, and then we're just going to shine it up. Alright, it looks like you can see a difference between one side to the other. So I'm going to take care of the rest of the hood, and then you guys pretty much get the hang of it, I'm going to do the whole tractor, and I'll bring you back to show you the final product. All right, let's get that put on. So, parts kit comes with a new ring, springs, everything we need. So we can see that it is going this way with the rod, so we'll make sure that we go from the front to the back there. There. Alright everyone, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this spring put in there and this little spring. So we'll get these set up. I'll show you how to do that here. You're going to put your spring to where you're going to brace it like this, and then you're going to bend this piece back over like that, so that way it keeps the tension on it. The second one, this is going to be this portion right here is going to go in this little hole. There's a little hole that's right there, and we're going to get that piece Okay, let's do a function check. Alright, looks like we got it. So, this was retained on there with a clip. So I am going to pop it on there and I will tap it in. Let me grab a little socket. What I've got here is a little socket. I'm going to place it on like this, and then I'm just going to tap this. Could probably get something there that would hold that a little bit better, but there we go. Alright, so we've got this wheel that's loose. It does not look like there's a nylock washer on the back side the way that there is on the other one. So there's a chance that it could back off. So let's grab some tools and we'll get it off there. Alright, so as you can see here, you've got one side of your wheel is set in, the other side has the standoff on it. You want to drop that in, you're going to throw that on, and I wanted to throw a lock washer on there to make sure that we could tighten this up all the way to where it's going to hold this on there. Alright guys, here's our finished product. In review, we changed the seat out. We changed the oil, fuel filter, spark plugs, put a new deck chute on, we fixed that front tire, and we did a buff and shine on it. And we changed the drive belt. So I think this is a nice quality unit, and I think somebody's going to enjoy it. Thanks for watching guys, and remember, you can't fix anything if you ain't out there turning wrenches.